It's it is actually sweeter than chicken. You
Okay.
know, for you that had frog legs, would you agree with me? It's a little bit sweeter than chicken, and so it's really good, really, really good.
I'm gonna try it. I've had gator, but I haven't had frog
I've had
legs.
gator; it tastes like chicken too. You know, but frog legs, they're a little smaller. You got to have a bunch of them.
Okay, I'm gonna try them. Good to know.
Yep, yep, yep. And then go to Pier 24 and get that, and then just walk down the street. Look for the three bronze jazz people. Louis Armstrong, I think, is one, and go in
Okay.
there and grab you three beignets.
Okay. Noted.
And for you that are just coming in, we're talking about New Orleans. Do you say it New Orleans? Do you say it New Orleans or do you say Nolans?
I guess it depends on where you're from.
I guess it depends on where you're from, right? That's the same thing. I'm from between Williamsburg and Virginia Beach, right? And is it Norfolk? Is it Norfolk? People say that a lot of times. Uh, and do you guys know where I'm talking about? Across the bridge, there's a place that I grew up in, and I'm gonna say it the way most people say it: Newport News, Virginia. Okay, Newport News, Virginia. Okay, you can tell the locals because we call it Newport News.
Thank
Newport
you.
News. Newport News,
Not yet.
not
Don't get
Newport News. Newport News. All right, I think we got everybody in here that's going to
Thank
be in
you.
here, and so that's a good thing. Today's going to be an interesting Rob bomb. Today's going to be interesting. ROBCAST here with you. It's called Criticism is a Sign of Success. Now, we may not think of criticism as a sign of success, but I can tell you now, we never like this. Listen to this. Although getting criticized is certainly not the best feeling in the world, would everybody agree with that? It's not the best feeling in the world. However, I have great news for you. Receiving criticism is a surefire sign that you are well on your way. It really is. We don't like criticism. I don't like criticism. In fact, I get offended sometimes when somebody tries to criticize me. When in fact I should be looking and saying, you know what? Come on, bring that criticism on because I know I'm doing the right things, right? Criticism is not something that you want to avoid. Rather, it is what you must expect to come your way once you start hitting it big. Let me tell you something. I mean, if you've never been criticized, that means a little bit that you've never hit it big. If you've never been envied, that means you've never been it big. I tell you, I like big. I like big all my life. I like being big all my life. I like being doing not big person, but I like being doing things just 10x and that kind of stuff. Once you start doing that, I can promise you right now, everybody will come against you. I'll give you a quick example. I was with a company and I was recruiting for all the offices in that my area right there between Williamsburg, Virginia Beach. Was recruiting for all the offices. Man, they loved me. Man, the managers loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me, man, because I was recruiting like crazy. However, then I stopped recruiting after about 5 years and decided I wanted my own office. Well, guess what? I recruited 125 people for my own office. And all of a sudden, man, everybody come against me. Everybody's, come. All the people came against me. They even went to the person that owned the big corporation and the big business, the real estate business, and said I should be fired. I'm ruining this company. I'm doing this, and I love what the owner said. Said, get out of my office. When you've got the numbers that Rob has, you come back and talk to me. But it was only because they were envious, right? It's only because they were judging and looking at something. I'm going to give you the definition of what Grant Cardone gives for criticism, and it's really deep. So get ready for it. Really deep. In fact, I had to explain it to my own self. Criticism is defined as the judgment of the merits and faults of the work or actions of one individual by another. Boy, isn't that deep? Let me say that one more time. Criticism is defined as the judgment of merits and faults of the work or actions of one individual by another. In other words, it's a judgment by the people, by another person on your merits, on all your faults, on all the things that you do. It's somewhat somebody else is judging you. Would you agree that we're in a judging world? That people love to judge. People love to judge you. People love to say things about you. People love to do things. We're in a whole judging world out here. The dictionary fails to include the following helpful bit of information. When you start taking the right amount of action, okay, and therefore creating success, criticism is often not far behind. Okay? Criticism is not far behind. If you're not being criticized, you got to question whether you are doing all the right things and moving forward in a big way, 10x type way. This may be why some people avoid attention in the first place. Would you agree with that? They don't want criticism. They don't want to be judged. They dodge judgment. Geez, I've been judged. You've been judged. And whenever you start doing even bigger things, I can promise you they're going to come and judge you again. When you start taking enough action, it won't be long before you're judged by people who aren't taking any action. Don't you love those people, man? They just sit around and they just judge everybody else instead of going ahead and moving forward and put blinders on and say, you know what? I'm going to stop judging everybody else and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be judged. Some will admire you. Some will admire you. Some will want to learn from you. However, unfortunately, most will envy you. Most will envy you. See, you need to expect and anticipate this is one of the signs of success. Criticism, and judgment. Don't you want to look at people? I mean, sometimes when you look at them, hey, stop judging me. Stop judging me. I would say to you, don't even say a word. Keep judging me. You know, as I'm going ahead and making things and moving forward and that kind of stuff, got people just on the sidelines that just want to keep on. The criticism can come from many forms. Hey, listen to this. You ready for this? It can come in many forms that you don't even realize criticism is coming. Here you go. It may be first to show up in advice. You're going to get advice from people. Okay? You're going to get advice, Janet, because of all the things that you're doing. Let me give you the advice, okay? Here's the advice. Why are you spending so much energy on that one client? See, that's judgment. Okay? How about another one? Oh, he never buys anything. How about this? You should enjoy life more, Annette. Stop working. Stop doing so much business. You should enjoy life more. You know, it's not all about work, you know. That's when you hear those phrases, just understand that's really criticism. When you hear those phrases, that's really envy. See, because of your abundance, it highlights their deficiencies. Oh, write that down. Because of your abundance, it highlights their deficiencies. That was good, wasn't it? I think that was good. Yeah. How about this? I mean, success is not a popularity contest. It is your duty, obligation, and responsibility. I think that's that other phrase should be put up everywhere. You know, that should be on a plaque. Your abundance highlights everybody else's deficiencies, especially those that want to criticize, right? Weak and overwhelmed individuals respond to others' success by attacking them. Weak and overwhelmed individuals respond to others' success by attacking it. So if you're being attacked, know you're probably on the right track. When you're being criticized, know you're probably on the right track. People who habitually disparage others like this usually do not have solutions to their own situation. Isn't that good? People who habitually disparage others usually do not have solutions to their situation, except to degrade other people. That was good. Let me say it one more time. Okay? People who habitually disparage others usually do not have solutions to their own situations. A good friend of mine always said to me, hurting people hurt people. Hurting people hurt people. And it's because they can't figure out the solution for their own life. They can't figure out how to get out of their depressed state. They can't figure out how to move forward. They can't figure out how to get out of their own way and stop looking at everybody else and not looking at their own situation. The only way to handle criticism, listen to this, is to foresee it as an element of success formula. So in other words, if you know what your success formula is, if you know what put this in there also, make that number 5, number 8. Here's what success means to me, is to foresee criticism as an element of success formula. Heck, I mean, Diana Kokoska always taught us in bold. I mean, she always told us to say this: go tell everybody your goals, and if they don't laugh at them, then they're not big enough. Right? I mean, if people don't laugh at you because of your goals, then they're not big enough. So go tell somebody, hey, I'm in the net a million club, man. I'm going to make $1 million a year. Watch all the people that aren't making $1 million a year and they're only making $50,000 or $20,000 a year in real estate. Watch them begin to laugh at you, criticize you, envy you, that kind of stuff. So that's what you got to take a look at. So lower performers do this. They make others wrong for doing what is necessary in order to make themselves feel okay about doing nothing. Let me say that one more time. They make others wrong for doing what is necessary in order to make themselves feel okay about doing nothing. Remember this one thing. Remember the 4 degrees of action, right? Number 1 was the do nothing action. Those are the people that spend all their time. By the way, I mean, it's real funny that Grant Cardone says this. He says it takes as much energy to do that as it takes number 4, because you're always trying to figure out how to criticize somebody else. You're envious about somebody else. You got to give excuses of why you can't do it, and you got to criticize everybody else's situation and judge them because you can't figure out your own situation. I want $1 million. That sounds so far. Go tell 10 people today you're going to make $1 million, in the next couple of years in real estate. And watch them laugh. Watch them criticize. Watch them say, oh, it's not all about work. Remember? Watch them do those things. So, kind of wrapping this up a little bit, because man, I've been on fire here, just hitting this again. Those who initially judge your actions, listen to this, will later hopefully be singing your praises. Just as long as you take the criticism as a sign of your growing success and keep the accelerator on your actions to get 10x. Seriously, that does happen many, many times. A lot of times they will criticize you when you start doing something at the very beginning. Would you agree with this? I mean, because I'm going to make $1 million this year. Now, you've never made $1 million in your life. Okay. Just going there. You haven't even made $50,000, but now you're going around telling everybody I'm going to make $1 million. Now, a lot of people will hold that in. Why? You know why they won't tell everybody? Why? Because they don't want to be criticized or judged. Right? They don't want to be good. I'm not telling anybody. Geez, man, that's so far-fetched. I mean, I'm not telling anybody because I don't want to hear their mouth. When that should be a sign that said, okay, maybe I'm doing the right thing. And then when you start hitting $1 million, oh, now they're singing your praise. Oh, I know her. I know him. Yeah, that's my best friend right there. That's my buddy over there. Yeah. Where were you whenever I started this venture? Right? The last thing that I'll say is, after all, what better way sometimes? So let me set that up. Just as long as you take the criticism as a sign of your growing success and keep the accelerator on your actions, after all, what better way to retaliate sometimes against criticism than to succeed? and what you're setting out to do. So take that. Take that today. Criticism is a sign of success. And use that as fuel. Okay? Use that as fuel. Guys, I tell you what, we're doing a lot of great things right now, and I want you to keep on taking a look at everything that we're doing. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you next week. Talk to you next Monday. Talk to you soon. See ya.